Pro-life Jeremy. Google Scott Desjardins. Christian family man. Google Scott Desjardins. A man who's been happily married, who respects his wife and never lays a hand on her. Google Scott Desjardins. Republican Jeremy, 43 years old, probably voted for Andy Ogle. Republican Jeremy. We all make mistakes. Republican Jeremy is a Chris Hale voter. He is one of tens of thousands of non-Democrats who are going to fuel me to victory on election day. There's always that sign. That sign is a missionary sign. It got someone into the room that we're never going to get any other way. So these signs aren't vanity projects. They are actually signs of progress, of hope, of change. Will you take a sign? We have a lot. Will you take a sign? We got a box of 2,000 signs today. We're trying to put 10,000 up on election day. We have about 30 here tonight. Will someone raise their hand and say, yes, I will take a sign and put it in my community? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. And I know you'll get them. We'll bring them right after I speak. We'll bring the signs. We also have, I think we're going to put one big one. We have a 4x4, we have a 4x8. 4x8's out here tonight. My car wasn't big enough to put it. We also have some 4x3 signs, which are pretty big. Bigger than Scott's Sabicki signs, so good signs. Would someone know where we could put those in this community besides the election headquarters? Do we have places that we could put that in this community? Maybe?
Yeah.
Let's find out where we can put those tonight. And I am very proud of this last part. I did not parachute into this community and ask for your vote tonight. I've been back and forth for years to Maury County. I know the back roads. I know the issues. I know your crazy county mayor. I know what you deal with. I know your school board. I know it all. Scott Desjardins scoots by once every few years asking for your vote, parachuting in, but I know your communities. But I want to make sure the voters know that I know their communities. We have this great sign in Bledsoe County. Bledsoe County needs a $1.3 million fire truck. That is their big issue. You talk to Bledsoe County, they need that fire truck because it's actually pulling up industry coming into Bledsoe County. Scott Desjardins hasn't done a damn thing to get their fire truck. I've been fighting already to help them get the fire truck, get them the federal resources they need, the private resources they need to get their $1.3 million fire truck. My staff right now is putting up signs at the Bledsoe County Courthouse saying, Chris Hale will get you that fire truck. We want people in these communities to know that I am fighting on the particular issues for them. I have a great printer. He gets me stuff in 3 hours. We do not know yet what should be the one issue we put on signs here in Maury County. And I would love to take a minute or two. What is the one thing that should be on that sign at the election? Now, you all can answer this, but one thing you've got to understand, it can't be something just Democrats agree on. It's got to be something that helps me get over the top. I have to win 4 out of 16 counties to win this election, okay? 4 of the 16 counties. Rutherford, Marshall, Warren, and Murray. I need your help to get me over the top. What should we put on that sign to help convert people to become, if they must, Trump Hale voters, Biden Hale voters, Joe Jurgensen Hale voters, none of the above Hale voters? What can we do to get people to support me? Does anyone have ideas on that sign?
Fix West 7th Street, I believe.
Would that do it?
Yeah. That actually is probably better than I mean I hate it because I want people to be patient. And I also don't want to throw certain elected officials under the bus either. But that probably would resonate more. But there's also our community pool is closing. And they're like $75,000 short, and they haven't been able to get the money, and it's our only community pool.
So should it be like Save Maury County's community pool?
Yeah, but honestly, that West 7th thing.
We can do both.
Yes.
Yes.
There's nothing for our youth.
There isn't a
community center.
Yeah.
Everything. There's nothing for our youth to do here. We need our crime for our juveniles.
They will close and close the water.
And our drugs and all those other things that
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that again and again. Yeah, what's up?
I was going to say, Maury County is rapidly becoming a community for Nashville. And
Sure.
we need better roads going through Nashville.
Okay, so 4 or 5 minutes a week. So fix Maury County roads. West 7th Street. They pool. Give their kids things to do after school. What else?
We need elected representatives, local ones, to fight better for all the different things that we can be getting from national and state, not only just public things, but there's a lot of private programs going on too.
Amen. I want to talk about that really quickly. I'm a good salesman. I think even my enemies can concede I'm a good salesman. And one of the things that we've got to understand about the United States Congress is there are 435 colleagues, but yes, competitors. You've got to compete for federal funding. And Congressman Deja, like all those scandals, here's the most important thing that's happened. It's made him ineffective to lead. Think about this. He has the endorsement of the President of the United States, but he does not have the endorsement of one single solitary legislator in the state of Tennessee. Isn't that unimaginable? Not one single solitary legislator in the state of Tennessee is going to bat for Scott DeJarlais, and not one member, not one colleague of the 434 colleagues he has in the United States Congress, 200 of those who are Republicans, has endorsed him. The people that know him do not support him. They don't want to work with him because they think, here it is, he's lazy. He was voted America's worst lawmaker, not by some like left-leaning liberal magazine, by the preeminent conservative magazine in this country. They said, National Review said he is the worst legislator in America. No one likes Scott DeJarlais. Let's just beat him. So I agree with that. We need legislators that will be ambassadors for Columbia, for Maury County, for Colioca, for Spring Hill, for Mount Pleasant, who know the issues and can get the dollar bills to help our community. And so I'm committed to that. Any others?
Yeah, I got one.
Yes. Good to see you.
Columbia State is one of the biggest assets that our county has. And we have never had a politician that supports Columbia State. You know, there's a strong drive and a thought now that it's moving to Williamson County. All of the administration offices are being built in Williamson County to take Columbia State away from Columbia. We have not had a politician that has spoke up for Columbia State and all of the positives that it offers us. I traveled for 15 years to all of the community colleges across the state from athletics. Every year, new buildings, new programs, new ideas were happening at Dyersburg, at Shelby, at Walters, at Volunteer State, at all of the community colleges except Columbia State. It's been left behind. We don't know really who represents Cercio or Sapecki. Who represents Columbia State?
Chris Hale will represent.
So I'm saying Columbia State is a great asset for Columbia, and it is being completely neglected.
Maury County deserves a higher education institution right here. And you know, we can make Columbia State the envy of South Central Middle Tennessee. Go
That
ahead.
ties back to what he was saying with infrastructure. We're a community now. Everybody's moving south. It's perfect, it's exactly right on target.
It is a shame that every campus in the state has new buildings every year from funding from the state and federal, but Columbia State has one building since its inception in 1967.
And our kids don't go there.
Well,
And
one
it's
thing
not representing the southern part of, it should be the leader.
Well, and what they know is that once again, in terms of getting the goods, getting the resources, it takes a fighter, it takes a salesman, it takes someone that's going to go in the room and work their butts off to get the dollar bills. The reason that Columbia State has not gotten federal resources because who you elect the federal government. And you know, so I think that I would love to be a champion for Columbia State. I want to be a champion for higher ed in South Central Middle Tennessee. It can't just be about the big schools. It's got to be, we have to worry about the community colleges, community schools, etc. Yes.
So I'm a faculty member in nursing at Columbia State. And The administrative offices, they aren't leaving. Now, they're getting new businesses, new buildings on that campus. They're getting new parking in Franklin. The Columbia campus is the hub. Nothing new is popping up there. We are being left behind with a lot of things, but you're talking about higher education. Can we talk about our basic education? Because the students that are graduating from the schools here, they don't even qualify to take classes or to come to school at Columbia State because their grades aren't up to par. So our education is a problem.
So one thing I want to know, so yeah, it's a very quick question. I know I'm taking up too much time, so I'll be quick. The average Tennessee in the 4th congressional district asked to grade their schools, okay? About 8% gave them A's. I imagine, honestly, that was in Rutherford County. I think that's probably in Rutherford County and Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
B was about 12%. C was the highest category, about 35%. D was about 15 to 20, and F was about 10. Where are we in Maury County?
Maury County is the bottom 5% of schools in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah. And do the Republicans know that here? They did it.
They send their kids to private schools, so it's
Yes, Columbia Academy, yes. Yeah.
Wilson County, as well as Rutherford County. You gotta do it on this phone because my phone's dead.
Okay.
But if you gotta go right now, what you could do is
Is it okay to do it online?
if you go on the website, if you want to pull your phone.
Yeah.
Until the people learn, finally realize that the Republican as well as those counties, they're who's what happens, they're going to do apply whenever they can to get all the money they can. And until people realize it, they're going to have to start recognizing it in office.
Well, I think one of the things that we have to acknowledge about is Republican or Democrats, if you are a bad legislator and a bad lawmaker, you will let down your community. There are some very effective Republican lawmakers who make it rain, okay, in different parts of the community.
I wish I could
It
just
seems like here in Maury County, we're lacking time and again. And Andy O was against running all together. This is what exists. So, I want.
What you could
I think
do.
that's also the argument that I want you
You don't
to
need
bring
to spring
to
here.
your Republican friends. And I'm
Maybe.
getting the look. We'll
My
call it off.
My parents live on the line
music's
in
going
Rutherford.
on.
My
No, that's
dad.
not you.
So if you
Oh,
wanna-
that was
Republican
you,
friends might think I'm an
campaign
asshole
manager.
and not like
If you want to
and
do
maybe
this,
think I'm not charming or
I'm
a
on
snake or a
Okay.
loyal salesman, but they got to concede this. I will work harder for the incumbent. I will be an asshole for their community to make sure that we can get the resources we need. We can have an ambassador for Maury County in the United States Congress that ensures that we get the resources to make this community thrive so that your children, our children, can have the great gift of Tennessee, the gift that you want to give them here in Columbia, so they don't have to run off elsewhere to make a living, to have a children, to have a family, to make a life worth investing. So, my final ask is for you to be my missionary. Folks, we live in Tennessee. You know more Republicans than you know Democrats. Please, I need every Democrat on God's green earth to vote for me, but I want you to tell them this. I am the one Democrat worth voting for. You can vote for Donald Trump or whatever you want to do, but this is the one Democrat. This is the one Democrat worth voting for because of this. Because of this. Congressman Desjardins has never shown up. He's never fought for you. He's never gotten resources for you. The GOP agrees he is the worst lawmaker in the country. And you might not like me, but you know I'll fight for you. And you're not giving me keys to the kingdom. You understand that? You were giving me a 2-year lease. You were giving me a 2-year lease. And if your Republican friends don't like me, I'm sure Andy O will be running in 2022. Okay? And so they have Andy Ogles versus Chris Hale in 2022. But give me a shot because I show up and my opponent does not. I fight for you and my opponent does not. My loyalty to you is for you. My opponent's loyalty is to himself. To himself. So I'm humbly asking for your support and with your energy, with your donations, with your volunteering, with your taking of signs, with your missionary work for me, I promise you this. In 21 days, we will gather in our communities that make up this beautiful 4th congressional district. We will gather in our communities and we will celebrate victories all across this country. We will regain Tennessee for ourselves and our children and our posterity. The feeling in your bones isn't deceiving you. We're going to win this election. You're looking at your next congressman. Thank you for having me.